And off we go on this Sunday night. Hi, everybody. Carson Meredith with you from the Wave Now Studios. 7:50 p.m. Sunday, February 2nd, Groundhog Day. 6 more weeks of winter, according to our rodent friend up in Pennsylvania. But for now, feels like spring, doesn't it? Gorgeous day today, mid-60s, not bad at all. If you like today, you're really going to like tomorrow. We'll talk more about the warmest day of the year so far ahead for Monday. Yes, it's only February 2nd. I know. But hey, it's still going to be warm, and January was really cold. So get excited about it. But we'll talk about that. We'll give you an update on our alert day for Wednesday. I've got some slightly more specific details for you as we slowly work through nailing down that forecast for the middle part of the week. And then we'll talk about the flip back to winter that appears to be taking shape by the second week of February. Oh boy, oh boy. Who's on tonight? Clayton says hello. Anita. Sorry, Anita. Hope you're having a wonderful weekend. Yeah, it's been good. Nice and quiet. And you're welcome for the warm temperatures. It's the least I could do. I like being messengers on nice days like this, right? Eli says hello from Crestwood. Angela says, hey. Carrie says we didn't have any winter today. No doubt about that. Let's see. Snow, question mark, crying emoji. It's looking more and more likely. Second week of the month. I'll explain here as we go through our chat tonight. Outside we go, downtown Louisville. Gosh, the time's gotten away from me this evening. Gorgeous sunset about, I guess, 2 hours ago now, around 6 o'clock. But we see dark skies as the night settles in. Still pretty mild out there. Temperature in Louisville is 60 on the dot. It was breezy today, too. The peak gust at Ollie International was 28 miles an hour. And tomorrow's really going to be similar in a lot of ways, not just with the temperatures, but also with the wind. Going to be another breezy Monday. But for now, we've got some thinner clouds filtering in. Those will likely be with us for most of the night. That combined with that southerly breeze, a light southerly breeze now, but those two things will be enough to keep us on the milder side throughout the entire night tonight. A lot of us winding up in the 40s. So a pretty comfortable night ahead. 46 is our official number here in Louisville tonight. Low 40s elsewhere. So definitely still have a jacket with you heading out the door tomorrow morning. But it's going to be one of those days that we typically have in April, or March and April, I suppose, where you need a heavier jacket in the morning, but you kind of have to shed those layers as the day goes on because we are going to warm up very, very quickly once that sun comes back up tomorrow morning. Look at these high temperatures. And again, I know it's only February 2nd, February 3rd tomorrow, but hey, this is going to be the warmest day of the year so far on Monday. I got a forecast high of 69 here in Louisville. And I still fully expect a few spots, especially across central Kentucky, to hit 70 tomorrow. Could we hit 70 here in Louisville? You bet. Very, very possible. I'm not ready to go that far just yet, but 69, 70, 1 degree difference. Big whoop. It's going to be warm. It's going to be a great day to get outside. I know it's Monday. A lot of us got to go back to work and school, but if at all possible, if you can get some time outside tomorrow, walk the pup around the neighborhood, anything, take advantage of it because this is likely the warmest day that we'll see for quite some time. Now, is this a record potential tomorrow? I don't think so. The record for Louisville for tomorrow is 74, so we'll likely fall just short. Having said that, we kind of overachieved with those high temperatures today by a couple degrees. So if it's more like 71 or 72 tomorrow afternoon, we'll get at least close to that record, right? Bottom line, tomorrow looks fantastic. Let's see. Nancy's asking, do you think we'll get more snow this season? Yes, I do. Yes, I do. It's in the 10-day. So stay tuned. We'll talk more about that towards the end tonight. Weather Geek says, need a groundhog chili recipe. I've never heard of that, Weather Geek. Never heard of groundhog chili. Sounds interesting, though. Sounds interesting. Michael says, I always trust you guys over what the groundhog says. Thank you. That's what we hope you we hope you trust us instead of that groundhog. You know, it's fun. I get it. Let's see. Janet says it's an awesome day outside. Sure was. Ellen says good evening. Let's see. DJ King's watching us in North Vernon. Baron says hello. Groundhogs lie. Groundhogs lie. Yeah. Well, you know, last year he said an early spring, and if we're being honest, there wasn't much of a winter around here last year. Brandon's got a good question, and we will address this shortly. What happened to the forecast for 70 on Wednesday? It's a mess for Wednesday. Then we're going to spend quite a bit of time kind of breaking down that setup Wednesday because it is tricky to say the least. Let's tidy things up for tomorrow real quick. I mentioned it's going to be breezy again, maybe even a little more wind than what we saw today. This is the high resolution rapid refresh model, better known as the HRR, HRRR. And it suggests from late Monday morning into tomorrow afternoon, those gusts upwards of 30, maybe 35 miles an hour out of the south and west. So it'll certainly be a warm breeze that I think is going to help push a lot of you in Kentucky into the 70-degree range. So another good day tomorrow to anchor down the outdoor objects. Tuck the trash can inside the garage if you can. Make sure it doesn't go flying around. But certainly a breezy day again on Monday. Okay, next 3 days look like this. Tomorrow looks phenomenal. Get outside and enjoy it. Tuesday, cooler and cloudier, 56. There is a cold front that's going to move through late Monday night into early Tuesday morning. There's not a ton of moisture with this cold front, but there might be just enough for a couple of sprinkles or some drizzle Monday night. 10% chance, shouldn't be a big deal, but don't be surprised you wake up Tuesday morning and the driveway is a little damp because of it. But most of us will be fine. Our main focus is now Wednesday, and that alert day continues for Wednesday night especially. But like I mentioned, the forecast for the middle part of the week is a total mess. And here, coming up in 30 seconds after we pay some bills, we will discuss why that forecast is such a mess and where things stand now as we get closer to that midweek alert date. Back at 30. All right, we're back. Thanks for hanging with us for 30 seconds. We have to pay the bills, man. You know, it's just the way it is. All right, let's turn our attention now to Wednesday night. Again, this is a messy setup, guys. I mean, I'll be honest with you, 3 days out, excuse me, I'm a bit perplexed by how this is all going to play out. Let's just start off with some of that more detailed information that I was hinting at. So let's just go from top to bottom here. The timing. We're going to blanket say after 7 o'clock Wednesday night is when that storm chance starts to go up. Okay? So most of the day Wednesday, it's not going to be a pretty day. In fact, it's going to be kind of a yucky day, to be honest with you. But there's not a severe concern until after 7 o'clock Wednesday evening. And I don't think this is going to be an issue for everybody when it comes to severe storms. Based on what we've been looking at this weekend, the area that we're going to be watching them closest will be central and southern Kentucky. In other words, south of Louisville. That's kind of the zone that has my focus for a few strong storms. this is not going to be a huge outbreak, guys, at all. And depending on how this setup evolves, we may wind up with no severe storms, which should be a good thing to all of us, right? It's just the potential is still there for a few of those strong storms Wednesday evening that could have damaging wind gusts, that may have a brief tornado. I think that risk is low, but it's not zero, and could have some heavier rain that exacerbates that flooding issue that we've been dealing with in central Kentucky, especially. You go back to Thursday night, all the rain we had, a lot of the creeks and rivers are running high in that part of the world. Get another ½ inch to 1 inch of rain, you'll likely have some additional flooding concerns. So those are the main two issues that I'm watching at this point, are damaging wind gusts, straight line winds, and flooding, be it river flooding or flash flooding. Could there be a tornado Wednesday night? Perhaps. I'm not overly concerned about it. Remember, the alert days are just designed to give you guys a heads up that things could be a little rocky, could impact your plans as we get towards Wednesday night, okay? So I'll let that information sit for a moment. Let me get to some comments here. Destiny asked earlier about how high the tornado potential is. It's low for now. It's very low. And like I said, the way this setup could play out, we may not have much in the way of severe weather at all. It's a very, very tricky setup. Steve's asking about February 7th. That is Friday, birthday. Happy early birthday, Steve. It does look good Friday. It does look good Friday. Let's see. Joshua on YouTube is asking about a slight risk for Wednesday or Thursday. Yeah, it's hard to say at this point. It's hard to say. There's no severe weather outlined risk at this point. Like, there's no marginal risk, slight risk, none of that. And I don't like to say, well, I think the SBC is going to do this. I don't do that stuff. That's their job, not mine. My job is to tell you guys what they say. Michael says, we need our ads on these 30-second timeouts. So if you're watching us on Twitter or X, whatever, Facebook, things like that, you guys don't see the ads. You just see that screen that says we'll be right back. The ad is only for those of you that are watching on wave3.com. So just keep that in mind as we move forward here. All right, let's go to the maps for the Alert Day Wednesday. So if you were watching us late last week, we were talking about how Wednesday could be a potentially record warm day, right? Highs near 70, kind of a soupy day maybe, which would have really raised the red flag when it comes to severe weather Wednesday. But this system has slowed down a ton. I mean, just a ton over the last couple of days. And you could tell where the warmer areas with this system, like we talked about last night, where you see this red shade out to the west, out in Arkansas, Missouri, Oklahoma, Kansas. That is the fuel. That's the instability in the atmosphere. And you see the leading edge of the warmer air, the leading edge of where that fuel is. And at 8 o'clock Wednesday morning, that fuel is still way to our west. So for us, that means it's going to be chilly on Wednesday now. It's very wild how this system has been so much slower, how the models have really backed off on those record temperatures potentially for Wednesday. So we get to 8 o'clock Wednesday morning. There'll be an increase in just good old-fashioned showers, cold rain showers rolling through. And when you combine those cold rain showers with the thick cloud cover, guys, we're going to be stuck in the 40s now most of the day on Wednesday. That's a dramatic change, I know, compared to what we were talking about a few weeks ago, or a few days ago, rather. But like I said, these models are really struggling with how this system is going to play out Wednesday. So right now, the record territory, forget it. It's gone. It's not going to happen. It looks very chilly and damp during the day on Wednesday. There's no severe weather concern during the day on Wednesday at this stage of the game. Just a few showers, that's it. Now, as we go through the evening, what we're going to have to watch is the progression of this warm front that's off to our west. How far north does it go on Wednesday? That decides our severe weather threat, okay? What you're looking at here is the European model, same model I showed you guys last night, because I think it's got a good idea of what we could see Wednesday night. So here we go. Showers, chilly during the day, and you see that warm front really pushes in and moves north of wave country into Wednesday evening. You can kind of see the edge of that warm front's way up north, up towards Dayton, Ohio. If that is the case, if that warm front goes way, 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 way to the north, like the European model suggests, get this, we will go from the 40s as you're heading home from work Wednesday afternoon to near 60 degrees by midnight Wednesday night. This could be a very, very odd situation where our high temperatures for the day are at the end of the day at 11:59 p.m. As that surge of warmer, more unstable air moves in from the south and west. Now, that's only if the warm front goes way far north up into Ohio. If it doesn't, let's say the warm front stalls out right here, right on top of wave country, then you're going to have a situation where those of you in southern Indiana stay in the 40s all day and night and don't see severe weather, while some of you in southern Kentucky climb to near 60 degrees and could see a few stronger storms. So that's what we're talking about by just how, I don't want to say confusing, but I can't think of another word, just how confused these models are when it comes to this warm air advection, or where the warm air moves in, how quickly it moves in. So that's making the temperature forecast very, very messy on Wednesday. During the day, we are going to be cold and damp, 40s with showers and clouds. If that warm front moves north and east up into Ohio, we will go from the 40s at 5 o'clock in the evening to near 60 degrees by midnight across the board. But the GFS has that second idea that I was talking about, where it has the warm front basically parked right over wave country. If that happens, we'll have that big temperature gradient I talked about, where it's colder north, much warmer south. But that would also help to limit our strong storm potential. Why? Well, if the warm front's right on top of us, that warmer, more unstable air can't move in as much. So it's a door, basically. It closes the door to any stronger storms. So if we want to avoid stronger storms, we would like to see that front stall out right on top of us Wednesday evening. Could we still have a few rumbles of thunder? Yes. Would they be severe? Probably not. But again, wide range of possibilities still 3 days out. So this will still continue to change in the days ahead. I don't want to take out the alert day at this point and say, hey, we're good to go, because we don't know yet. Just being totally honest with you guys, we don't know how this warm front is going to act once it gets here. The possibility is still there for a few stronger storms Wednesday night, especially in central and southern Kentucky. I think regardless of where that warm front settles, parts of central and southern Kentucky will be in that warmer, more unstable air, and we'll have that chance to see a couple of stronger storms at minimum. All right. The threats, damaging wind gust. I've got the chance for a brief spin up tornado. I really think that risk is low, but it's not zero. And it would not be these gigantic tornadoes. Not at all. Not even close. Maybe a little spin up here or there. It's on the ground for 10 seconds, 20 seconds. Then it goes back up in the sky. But those can still cause issues, as we all know. I really think the main problems are damaging wind gust and flooding with this setup, no matter how it plays out. Does that make sense? It's a messy setup, guys, I know. But hopefully just kind of going step by step made it easier on you guys. Let me know if you have any questions. Let me go through the comments here. Let's see. Are we looking at power outages Wednesday night? I don't think so. If anything, it would be from a damaging wind gust with a severe storm knocking down a tree into a power line. I think any power outage risk would be very, very isolated Wednesday night. Let's see. Jason, very complex setup. Yes, it is. Julia, I think you are in the same boat as a lot of people. Tulips are confused. They're popping out of the ground. Yeah, it always seems to happen. We get this kind of big warm up, big spring-like feel, and then everything blooms, and then we get back to cold. And yeah, I'm a little concerned about that. I'm a little concerned about that for sure. Destiny's asking, are we part of Central Kentucky? Well, when we talk about Central Kentucky, we basically mean near the Bluegrass and Western Kentucky parkways. So from like Louisville down to let's say Columbia, Kentucky. If you live in that part of the region, that's kind of what we mean by Central Kentucky. And that's where I think the risk for stronger storms is at its highest right now. It's going to be south of Louisville, down towards, if you live in E-Town, Mumfordville, Litchfield, Campbellsville, Lebanon, near any of those towns. That's where we're going to have to pay attention for maybe a few stronger storms Wednesday night. So let's go to Thursday now. Because once we get into Thursday, the question becomes the cold front. So we talked about the warm front on Wednesday and how that could mess things up one way or the other. Well, where the warm front winds up Wednesday night will decide where the cold front goes on Thursday and how long it takes for the cold front to move through. So this is still the European model that you see on the map here, okay? If the warm front, like the European says, is way up here in Ohio, that's going to give the cold front a lot more room to not only move through our region, but it would also give the cold front more time to move through our region. And if the cold front has more time to move through, that means it could still tap into that unstable warm air to where we may have another round of thunderstorms Thursday morning into the early afternoon. All right, so we might have a second round of storms on Thursday. Having said that, let's say the GFS idea wins, where the warm front doesn't get as far north as E-Town or Shepherdsville, like around this line that I'm drawing. So if the warm front gets stuck there, the cold front is going to be way down here in southern Illinois and southern Missouri. It's not going to have as much time to roll through, so it'll be out of here pretty quickly by Thursday morning. And that would help to limit any storm threat on Thursday, be it severe or not severe. So you see how one thing affects the other. It's a chain reaction kind of deal here with this setup Wednesday and into Thursday. So because of the lack of certainty with how Wednesday night's going to play out, I'm holding off on an alert day for Thursday because I don't want to give you guys a sense that we're going to have more problems on Thursday when we may not. One thing affects another, so we just got to take it one step at a time at this stage of the game. But for now, we'll keep the alert day in place beginning at 7 o'clock Wednesday night. And that time might be adjusted as we get closer. Greatest issue would be south of Louisville at this point for damaging wind gusts, maybe a spin-up tornado, a chance is low, and flooding. All right? No matter what happens, we've got those temperatures in the 50s to near 60 Wednesday night, early Thursday morning. And as that cold front moves through on Thursday, the temperatures will drop through the day. So Thursday will be an opposite day where we start things off warm at midnight and we get colder heading into Thursday afternoon. We have those quite a bit around here. But very rarely do you have a high temperature for the day at 11:59 p.m. And that's exactly what we'll see in all likelihood on Wednesday. Let's see. D says, oh, gotta get ready for the pets. 10 pets. Yikes. Wow. That's awesome, D. Good for you. And look, again, this is not going to be a huge severe weather event. I think a lot of you Wednesday night will just have a few rumbles of thunder. Truly, I do. This is not going to be a huge outbreak. I would not panic about this. We're going to watch it, of course. It's our job. We're going to be here keeping an eye on it. So just stay tuned over the next few days. I think this would be a very scattered severe weather event. In other words, not everybody's going to see strong storms. I think we're probably looking at maybe a couple of warnings at this stage of the game, but this is not like a blockbuster April or May outbreak. But it's obviously been a while since we've had severe weather, so just want to give you that heads up, that earliest alert that things could be a little rocky by Wednesday night. Now, if it looks as though that cold front has more time to move through on Thursday and we have more stronger storms possibly Thursday morning into Thursday afternoon, we'll flag Thursday as an alert day. But right now, because we have so much uncertainty with Wednesday, we don't want to add Thursday as well at this point, because what happens Wednesday night decides how Thursday goes too. Todd says, so did Harden see a shadow this morning? And that meant 6 more weeks of, oh boy. I'm not going to answer that question, Todd, but it is funny. It is funny. No, Kevin's in town. He's back tomorrow. He'll be here tracking this all. It does always seem like whenever Kevin's out of town, some crazy weather happens, but he's in town this week. Let's see. All right, so there's the 10-day. Friday is quiet but cooler, highs in the 40s. Then we get to next weekend. You know, in those commercials when they say, but wait, there's more. Well, here we go. This is Saturday. Let me take it full screen so you can see it. Another cold front moves in. Right now, this looks to be all rain for us. Timing of the cold front still a little fuzzy, but right now it looks like Saturday into Saturday night. We'll be tracking showers and storms. Severe weather risk. Joseph, you're asking if Saturday going to be severe. It doesn't look overly alarming at this time, but there might be some stronger storms depending on the exact timing of this front. Okay? So the front moves through for the most part Saturday night. We'll see as that colder air rushes in if there's enough moisture still around to maybe see a brief transition to a few snowflakes. I don't think there'll be much time, but it's something that we will keep an eye on. And there will be a few lingering showers heading into the big game day next Sunday. So keep that in mind if you have any watch party plans, especially in Kentucky. Those showers might hold on a little while longer next Sunday. As you see, that front kind of stalls out nearby. So that's the situation for the weekend. Then we get towards the end of the 10-day. There is becoming increasing confidence that we will have more winter weather the second week of February. If nothing else, it'll be cooler. You see highs in the 40s right now. That could be trending a little colder in the days to come, so keep that in mind. But the European and the GFS, I don't have the maps for you tonight, but they are both keying in on next Tuesday and next Wednesday for maybe some more wintry weather. We'll see. Stay tuned. And it looks like we get into a much more active winter weather pattern for that second week of February, in addition to the colder temperatures as well. In fact, I can show you the temperature outlook for the next couple of weeks. Notice how that warmer than normal air gets confined to the Gulf Coast, the Southeast, and that colder air returns for for that second week of February, February 10th through the 16th, looks a bit chilly. Does it look like, the crazy Arctic cold that we had back in January? It's too early to say. I don't think so. That's just my gut feeling. But we could still certainly see those temperatures in the teens, maybe, but more so 20s and 30s by the second week of the month. So we go from 70 and sunny tomorrow to maybe a few strong storms Wednesday night, to another round of storms Saturday, to colder temperatures and the return of snow potential in a little over a week. That is the definition of a wild 10-day earliest alert, my friends. What questions do we have as we wrap things up tonight? Let me know. Let me know what you want to know. Let's see. Those 40s at the end of the 10-day look pretty good. They do. But I caution, the models are still saying that we'll have some wintry weather in that time frame. So those temperatures may get trended downward in the days to come. But let's hope that they stay, right? Todd is a huge fan of the sunshine and 60s. So am I. Eli says, are we talking big snow? Too early to talk accumulation since we're 9 or 10 days away. But I'll just say that snow is possible in a little over a week. All right. Connie says, thanks for the update. Of course, it's what we're here for. Glad to do it. Ellen wants the snow. Bots just can't get enough. Just can't get enough, can y'all? Love it. It's awesome. Welcome to Kentucky weather. Amen to that. Is the end of February calmer? Nathan asks. I haven't looked that far out yet, to be honest with you. I'll just say that, the second week of the month, winter's not done. Phil said we got 6 more weeks of winter. It may not feel like it now, but I definitely think winter is not done by any means. Danny, you're spot on, my man. It's the Ohio Valley. When is the weather ever cut and dry? I miss the days. I miss the days in October when it was like 10 straight days of sunny and 60s and 70s. That was nice. Anita says, all right, put me on the spot. What is my gut feeling about this snow? Okay. I think we will have our first decent chance for some snow at the end of the 10-day that you see here, Tuesday the 11th and Wednesday the 12th. Then it gets murky as to when the next wave moves in. That might be near Valentine's Day. Okay, so right now I see 2 potential waves, one around the 11th or 12th that you see on the 10-day, and then the second one would be near Valentine's Day. That's kind of my gut feeling at this point. Let's see. Justin says, can it change for the next 10 days? Well, I wish I could change it to where it's calmer for sure, but there will be tons of changes, guys, over the next 10 days. Tons of changes, not in the sense that there might not be any more snow, but changes as in we'll have to make adjustments as we get closer. We get better data, right? In like a lamb, out like a lion. Yeah, usually we're talking about that in March, but I think February seems fitting for that, doesn't it? Good point, Connie. All right. Any last minute comments, questions before we wrap up? We got the news on at 11 tonight. If you're still awake, we hope you tune in. Brian is off this week. Brian's off this week, okay? So we'll do our best to give you a updated forecast here every day while he enjoys some well-deserved time off, all right? But until then, I will see you guys on the TV side of things tonight on Wave News at 11. Tawana will be in tomorrow morning with an update on this wild 10-day roller coaster that we are about to hop on. Get ready. Winter not done. But for now, enjoy spring while we have it. That's it for tonight, guys. Appreciate you watching. Take care of yourselves. Have a great week. Enjoy that 70-degree feel tomorrow. We'll talk to you soon.